Alright, today I'm going to be showing you the only two indicators that I've used to get funded, get paid out, build multiple six figures in prop firm funded accounts across multiple prop firms. And no, it's not going to be none of that RSI, MACD, Fibonacci, none of that basic simple indicators, just two really simple and actually valuable indicators. Now, before you click on this video thinking this is just some oversimplified video or even some overcomplicated video, and if you probably think that, hey, no indicators can actually move the market, I get it. I thought the exact same thing. And if you're thinking, I've tried simple before and it didn't work, stay with me because I'm going to show you how to actually use valuable, simplified information. Because simple and effective are two completely different things. And in this video, I'm going to show you the difference between both. Now you may be wondering who the heck am I and why you should be taking my advice, why you should listen to this video, why these are the only two indicators that you need. I'm funded multiple six figures across multiple different prop firms. I've gotten over 5-figure payouts from TopStep alone. I'm a top 50 funded trader at TopStep. Those are just some of my results, but my students themselves following the exact same, framework, my strategies, all the concepts, using these two indicators that I'm about to show you guys. Navi getting 18K months, Shubham getting his first ever payout, Aaron literally having a 7K month right now, Steven getting funded after literally 2 days after working 30 days with me. Now this isn't theory, this is actually concrete proof of what actually works. So by the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly which two indicators I use, how I use them, how to set up, and why they actually work. I'm going to show you guys how to set it up on your chart right now and how you can actually use them to identify high probable setups. And I'm also going to show you real trade examples in live time so you guys know exactly what to look for and how to actually use them with taking an entry model. Yeah, but let's get straight into exposing what these two indicators are. The problem that most traders have is that they have so many indicators on the charts. They have around like 6, 7, 8 indicators. To be honest, their charts look super messy, super confusing. Like you look at the charts and it just looks like a bunch of blob thrown onto the charts and you have no idea what you're even looking at anymore. You know what's not hurting you? That's what the issue it is in itself. It's the fact that they're so complex, they're so advanced. You think that this is what makes sense and this is what's going to help you out. When in fact, it's the complete opposite. All these indicators are contradicting each other. Like you'll have the RSI telling you you're bullish, but then you use, the Fibonacci tool and it's saying, oh, this is a bearish. And then you have a buy and sell indicator saying sell now or buy now. And then another buy and sell indicator, the Lux algo thing says buy now, and you have no idea what to do. That's the whole idea behind this. The reason why I only use two, and when I go over the first indicator, you're gonna be like, oh, this isn't even that complex of an indicator. Think about it. When your charts are complicated, your decisions are complicated. And when your decisions are complicated, your executions are also complicated and you're just confused, which leads to being hesitant, getting FOMO, not getting the best entry. And that's where the losses actually come from. Stop overcomplicating everything and actually just simplify it. And not simplify it to where it's like so dumb that it's like it doesn't work, but simplify it and keep it effective. Let me go straight into the first indicator and what I use. So the first indicator that I'm going to use is going to be called ICT Kill Zones and Pivots by TFO over here. This indicator is actually not what most indicators are. Most indicators like buy and sell indicators are lagging indicators. It prints out as the candlestick closes. Well, with this indicator specifically, it's honestly to just make your life easier. The way how I trade is I trade using key levels of liquidity. What are key levels of liquidity? Well, for example, London highs, previous day highs, London lows, Asia lows, and that kind of stuff. So the whole idea behind this indicator is so that I don't have to mark these out every single day manually. Basically, it does all the manual labor for me. And that's kind of like anything, right? If you could save time like that, why wouldn't you do it? It's kind of like how AI is taking over with automating all these simple, tedious tasks. I don't need this indicator to do what I do, but this indicator helps a lot for me. It cuts out all the manual labor and it saves me time so I can actually focus on what price action is doing, what the charts are doing, rather than maybe making a mistake. And when you have an indicator, a coded bot basically that does it automatically, there's no room for error. Sometimes you could, mistakenly see that this is a high and you mark that this high and it could be wrong. When you have it coded and the indicator does it for you every single day, there's no room for error and mistakes. Let's go into my actual settings and I'll talk about how I use it and I'll give you guys a real trade example. ICT Kill Zones and Pivots, you guys could literally copy this. Remember guys, I'm in UTC -4. You should always be in this time zone. If you're not trading in the New York time zone, I don't know what you're doing. These are the only ones that I use. Asia from 20 o'clock to 0, London 2 to 5. Take a screenshot of this, pause the video, follow these settings. Now I'm gonna scroll down, literally copy it exactly word for word. much. I only like to do the day high and lows, not the weekly highs and monthlies, because I feel like starts putting on too much onto my charts, and it gets back to that original thing that we were saying. It gets messy. And then I also have true day open, which is midnight price, and then yeah, these are all the settings that I have. Once you have all these settings added to your chart, it should look something like this. So now let's talk into a real world example on how I use this over here, this indicator to take this trade and actually win. So every single morning, I actually like to mark out my daily bias at around 6:45 to 7 o'clock a.m. As I was doing my daily bias this morning, I noticed something. The way how I trade is I like to trade towards these key levels of liquidity. What are my key levels of liquidity? London highs, previous day high, Asian highs. So I see our London highs over here that is unfilled over here. It is not swept yet. So it is unswept liquidity. It's resting liquidity. Price has not come up and swept out this level. What I want price to do is actually go and take out this level. So that's what I'm expecting to do. As you can see over here on the 1 hour, I pair it up with actual market structure. You can clearly see over here, price action came up, we came down. We did not take out this low over here. We came up and we're in an uptrend. We're in a basic uptrend, 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 uptrend. And now we slowly retrace. We got our nice retracement. Overall, this price action over here is telling me I'm bullish. That's the first step. You need higher time frame context. You need an overall direction, overall bias, and my bias from seeing this price action over here, I'm bullish. Now, I'm trying to catch a trade. Now, the thing is, I don't want to catch a specific trade or any just random trade. I'll just enter randomly. I want to use this indicator as just a draw on liquidity. So whatever my entry model is, or whatever I'm willing to risk, however points my stop loss is, however big it is, that's what I'm going towards. Basically, over here, I wanted to wait for confirmation that price was actually going to go towards these London highs. As you can see right over here, price actually inversed this fair value gap, but that wasn't enough confirmation for me just yet because I wanted to see a little bit more, and I had a couple other confluences into taking this trade, but unfortunately price just started running up without me and I didn't get my entry, right? I did not get my entry. I wanted to enter around over here. I wanted my stop loss to be over here, but I wanted a 40-point stop loss. So a 40-point stop loss would be around over here, and I wanted this to be my entry. But as you can see, price never came and tapped me in. Over here, we pumped up and I wanted to enter off of this FVG candlestick right over here, but price never did that. We never got over here and it missed, and I thought price was actually going to just hit this London high without tapping me in. And let's play it out, and price is actually pumping up, and I was waiting. I was like, wow, we're about to take out our London high. But then guess what? We got our entry. Bang, we got tapped in over there. And now what is my draw on liquidity? These London highs that the indicator marked out for me. The indicator, you don't need to use it if you do it manually, but this automatically does it, and it uses the exact levels that I look at every single day, and it marks it out and beautifully takes out those London highs. And what happens? Look what happens as soon as you take it. Bang, it completely rejects off of that London high, and that's why our take profit is there for a specific reason. And then let's look over here. We have this midnight price, and there's another reason. This indicator basically marks out my key levels that I want to see. Key levels where price goes towards, where it rejects off of, and that kind of stuff. So right over here is that midnight price that we were talking about earlier. Let's see what price does over here if we were to enter into a trade. We enter into this trade over here, put our stop loss at like these lows over here, and let's see what happens. And would you look at that? Beautiful pump up, beautifully respected, and that's how you bottom tick, top tick, and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you guys use this indicator. It's very, very clean. You don't need to add too much to it. As you guys could see, these are the settings. I only have a couple lines, a couple levels marked out with this indicator. I know when you first add it, it's going to add a bunch of lines, a bunch of things. You don't need it. Turn them off and just add these ones that I said, the Asia highs, London highs and lows, all that kind of stuff. Now that I went over the first indicator, which is the ICT kill zones and pivots, now I'm going to go over the second indicator that I have and I use to my charts, and that is going to be the VWAP. All right, I use VWAP part of my strategy. Now, most of you guys are probably familiar with it. If you're not, all VWAP stands for is volume weighted average price. So basically, it's just taking the volume, the average price with the volume into context, and it shows you where that is. I use this as a rejection area and also a point where price likes to go towards and retrace towards, and then potentially, respect it and then go into the original direction. As you guys could see clearly over here, price tapped to this VWAP and then it continued going lower. We're going to break down this trade and exactly why I took this trade. Let's go first into how to add VWAP to your charts. In the indicators tab, you're going to search up VWAP. right? I already have it added. You're going to go to VWAP, and these are my exact settings. Literally, whatever it says over here, you're going to take a screenshot, you're going to copy it, whatever it says, you're going to do this, wait for time frame, closes. Make sure you have this set, all right? If you don't have that set, it's not going to be good. And then also the style that I have, just as a normal blue line, this is my thickness and that kind of stuff right over here. Very, very simple. Yeah, let's kind of walk over why I took this trade over here. So let's go into replay mode. First, remember guys, the most important thing is you have to have overall higher time frame context. Let's look at what the overall higher time frame context is. As you can see, price dumped, retraced, dumped, retraced, dumped, accumulated, and now it's dumping again. Overall, my bias and the trend is bearish. We have a bearish trend. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower low, and then accumulation, and now we make that new lower low. Now we have this lower high, and we're expecting to make a new lower low. Now, I'm trying to get a nice entry model. I'm trying to get a nice retracement because I don't want to enter over here, because if I enter over here, and then I put my stop loss over here, and then over here, my risk to reward is not going to be as good. This is a negative risk to reward. So we want to wait for a nice proper retracement. As we play it out, we're actually waiting for price to tap back into this VWAP. When price taps back into the VWAP and it aligns nicely with other confluences, so we have a nice IFVG over here, we have a nice bearish fair value gap over here, we're waiting for price to tap back in and retrace to it. We're waiting, we're still waiting. We never tap back into this bearish fair value gap, and we never tap the VWAP. So we're still waiting, and bang, right over there, price taps into VWAP. You enter as soon as it taps it, you put your stop loss at the original swing high. And what can you target? Remember from the first indicator, what are key levels of liquidity and our draws on liquidities? Well, would you look at that? We have a London low right over here that has not been swept yet. We also have this midnight price over here. So this is where our take profit levels can be. So you see how you're using two indicators together. Now you're putting it all together, and it's not just using it separately. Remember, you cannot just trade something by itself. You have to put everything all together. So now right over here, we have this entry on the VWAP. Yes, you're going to go into a little bit drawdown, but nevertheless, it's still valid, and we just let the trade play out, and let's see how it goes. Barely any drawdown, and immediately just rejects off of that VWAP level, plus paired up with that bearish FVG. Honestly, this is a killer combo, right? The VWAP, higher time frame, draw on liquidity, paired up with a nice rejection right over here. And look at that, straight just dump, and we could target those London lows. You could take profit over here. You could take profit over here, or you could take profit at that key level of liquidity, which is those London lows, bang, right over there. That's exactly how you use the VWAP right over there. Just use it as a rejection level. Now, you guys may be wondering, wait, Tursonz, I see you have a third indicator on your chart. I thought you said you only use two. This one over here, not everybody needs it, but it is an indicator that I've worked on, created myself. And let's just basically say this accurately top ticks and bottom ticks your entries. This is only exclusive to hidden edge mentorship students. Not everyone can get access to it. Even they have to request access to it in that. So this is something I personally created myself, and I can't talk too much about that. But remember guys, at the end of the day, these indicators alone do not make you profitable. They are just tools that you use in confluence to your strategy. Remember, we have that overall higher time frame context of the bearish trend. We have our entry model with the return to the fair value gap over here, which lined up nicely with the VWAP. And then we also had this draw on liquidity, which is these London lows that we use the other ICT kill zone indicator, putting it all together. And that's all that really matters, to actually use these properly and effectively. But look how simple it is. We only have two indicators on the chart. And there you guys have it. Those are the two indicators that I use every single day. And to be honest, I gave you these two indicators, and you could use them today and apply them to your strategy, but you're not going to be profitable with just these two indicators alone. And I'm not saying these indicators don't work and that kind of stuff, because they are only half of the solution. Now, the other half is knowing when to enter, when to stay out, how to build a system that's consistently finding you success, and how to do everything consistently without self-sabotaging. Now, if you guys want to learn more how to do that and, get access to that third indicator, super exclusive, guys, I hate to be that guy, but you got to join the Hidden Edge mentorship to, actually learn the actual system, putting it all together, and how to do it consistently, and then also get access to that, my top tick and bottom tick Tursonz levels indicator. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. These are the only two indicators that you guys need. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and comment down below which indicators you guys use and you have found success with. But other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.